Hello and welcome to Hidden Existence. Hope everybody is doing all right out there tonight. And apologies for the late start. We got a bit carried away with the chat backstage. But with us tonight, it's the Nonnaboss. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here tonight. I'm so happy because I've been like I've always wanted to be on Hidden Existence, so this is a dream come true for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah.
You've been on, where did we have you? Must have had you on before ODYSSEY then. The last time
Mm-hmm.
it was on
Yes.
before, yeah.
Yes.
That seems like
Yes.
a long time ago now. That
I
must have been
know.
it was last year, which wasn't that long ago, but still a lot
Yeah,
happened. A lot
I
happened.
know. It's been a crazy year. I mean, I've had my channel almost a year now. Like I can't
Yeah.
it has, yeah, and I
You
think
were
I
just
came on
starting.
and with you and Jackie when I just started. So yeah.
That's right. That's right. So how has that been going?
It's been going really, really, really well. I have to say I have amazing people that subscribe to me and show up to my shows every week, and they're just supportive and caring people, and many of the same people that are in the chat tonight that are
I
your,
was just gonna say,
subscribers,
I have some great people
Yeah.
in. River Morris is in. How are
Hey,
you doing?
River.
He's great, isn't he, River?
Yeah,
Rhonda
he is.
Williams. Well, I can never say this. I'm sorry.
Oh, Willathis.
Athis. That
Yeah.
works for me. Gene Hudson, Gary Spike Senior, Val, Jack Melton, and sorry if I missed anyone. Oh, Grasshopper. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, the community is great. I
It
mean,
is.
we need
It's the
them.
best.
They are part of
Yes.
everything that we do, essentially.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
so yeah, they're a great lot.
Yeah.
But I have put your link in the description, so at any point
Oh,
anyone can
thank
look in
you.
there and go on over and go and check out what's going on over there and show some support.
Yeah.
So are you just doing Bigfoot on there? You
I'm
haven't.
doing everything. When Matt and I started our journey together, we were like flesh and blood, that's it. Nothing, there's nothing else connected. We thought it was this, flesh and blood thing only. And then it's like our journey has just taken us in such a different direction for us. Like it's been a very interesting thing where it's just developed in so many different ways for us. And now we both kind of we do believe the Sasquatch is still a flesh and blood being,
Mhm.
um but we do believe they have abilities. So it just kind of sent us down a few rabbit holes, but you know what, it's okay. We're open-minded, and we're keeping our feet to the ground, but we're open-minded, and we like to have conversations. I love to have conversations with people about spirituality and about orbs and about UFOs and about dogman, and all these different subjects. So I didn't in the beginning, I wanted my show to just be solely Sasquatch, but it just has just evolved over time, and it's been a fun ride.
It's hard, isn't it, to keep it just a Sasquatch when so
Yeah.
many people are experiencing so many different things,
Hmm.
and ultimately, what this kind of thing we do has created is a space for people, no matter what the trauma is. In a
Right.
sense, it feels like a
Right.
lot of people are coming for
Hmm.
somewhere, a bit of sanctuary, perhaps. I
Right.
guess that's how it feels for some people.
Hmm.
It has for me on certain podcasts and that, where you're just feeling that kind of vibe where you're in a good place.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I don't think we can ignore other things. We don't have to, they might not fit
Right.
in the same pot, but they kind of
Mhm.
seem to be part of this under the same umbrella, don't they?
Yeah.
That if this stuff we
Yeah.
can't explain,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I always see Bigfoot as like the really untouchable thing at the end of the day. But what's important is being here for people and
Yes.
focusing on that
Mhm.
and what people are telling us. Um, Whether that gives us any clues to what's going on, I don't know. This subject can be taken so many ways, can't be, and
Yeah.
used in so many ways. But yeah,
It's
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 definitely good to talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's the world's greatest mystery, right?
That's what I
It's
say.
the world's greatest
It's
mystery. Like,
history. Yeah.
we have no idea where it's going, but I want to be on the train that's heading there. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be there. I want to be front row. So I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to look into this. I'm going to look into that. And I've had my own different types of experiences. You know, some of them are very, as we call the woo, of my own experiences. And, you know, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that I've had my own encounters and experiences that don't fit in some people's boxes. It's okay, and I'm perfectly fine with talking about those experiences. And you know, I encourage, like you, I encourage people to come and, you know, to talk about experiences as well. I mean, it's super important when someone has been traumatized, whether it's by, you know, they believe that they were abducted by aliens or they saw a dog man. I mean, there's a lot of trauma that happens from these kinds of experiences, encounters, and sometimes they can be medically explained, right? That's a possibility, but
It
that's not
has
for
to
me.
be, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
but
it?
there's not for me to judge. So
No.
if someone has an encounter or an experience that they need to share or feel they need to share, I'm here to listen for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's very hard to tell, isn't it? And
Hmm.
like you say,
No
we're not
idea.
here to judge, but sometimes, yes, there are other things that happen that are not
Mhm.
what you think they are.
Right.
And that's just nobody likes to say it because you kind of think you're trying to spoil people's, but it's not about that. It's just being real. That
Mhm.
it isn't always what you think it might be. But talking can maybe break that down for you. Talking to someone else, you might find another conclusion because if you're
Mhm.
just talking to yourself, as you know, in your brain, you're coming up with all sorts of things, aren't you? You can really
Yep.
like go off the track. So it's
Mhm.
definitely good to share your experience, whatever it is. Who knows?
Yeah.
It could be absolutely anything, but I think
Yeah. I
most
mean,
people know.
yeah, because you know, I mean, there are a lot of misidentifications. Excuse me. I was sick a few weeks ago, so my voice still kind of goes in and out. So I apologize for that.
No, no worries.
Um, yeah, so I definitely believe that there are a lot of things that are misidentifications, right? I definitely believe that. But again, as when people, especially with me, like if I had really shared some of my really in-depth encounters and things that I've encountered, people would be like, okay, where's you need to be, you know, in the padded room over there, you know what I mean? Like, but I still had those experiences and I know I'm not crazy. So
Yeah,
I know that there are people out there that are having difficulties and traumas and which result in a lot of times PTSD and symptoms of PTSD. So it's, you know, I just feel like, hey, it doesn't take me or cost me anything to just hear somebody out, right? And just talk to them about what they've gone through and let them talk and vent and feel like they're sharing their trauma with someone else. And I think that helps lighten the load a lot sometimes for people.
yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the hardest subject to vet somebody. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't do it, and you know, there's only a few that might be coming on who are maybe, you know, either lying or just want some attention, and that's
Mhm.
fact as well. Some people
Yep.
need that, do stuff like that, but they are few and far between. But yeah, if you need to offload and you feel this is the space to do it
Mhm.
within, and you feel connected to that, then yeah, definitely it's a good thing to do. And yeah, definitely, Randy, you have to address someone's perception as being the a huge factor. Just a person believes it to be paranormal does not mean it is that. That's right. It is all about
Mhm.
perception. I was talking about this last night. I think we all have our own realities. Our realities aren't the same as somebody else's
That's
a lot of
true.
the time, all day long.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so who knows what goes on? And I don't know
But
whether
you made a really good point though, Daniela. It's about that safe space, right?
Mhm.
for someone to talk to you about it. Because I mean, I've even, I've even had a lot of like, I mean, like your encounter hub. That's amazing. I think that that is one of
Mm.
something that, is super important. I mean, I have had private streams with people that, felt that they wanted to share things with me. I don't talk about it. I don't discuss it. It goes no further. It's a private stream and that's that, and it's super important for people to have that safe space and to be able to just say what they're thinking and feeling and what they're going through in that moment. And it's super important. I love the fact that you have that going again. And I mean,
Yeah, it's
it,
great.
it's a huge
Yeah,
service to this community for sure. Huge.
I definitely feel people are getting something from it, and that's going to kind of be evolving as well. I've got plans for that. That
Good.
will be hopefully coming around pretty soon, because there definitely is a need
Yeah.
for that. It is again just going back to people and what they need is just someone to talk to.
Mhm.
Do you have a lady who comes on? She was coming on last year. There's nowhere else for her to talk about this stuff. And
Right.
so this is a great opportunity for her just to offload, to chat with someone else. And what I love about it is sitting back and watching people talk, and they're just chatting away, and it's all normal. It's
Yes.
normal. Yeah, they,
That's
they
so
feel
true.
it's not an awkward conversation. They can actually just really, just talk about it normally. Like
Yeah.
there's no fear, there's no taboo.
And
They're
you
not
see,
saying anything wrong.
the space that you've created with the Encounter Hub, like you just talked about, that's what all of us, when we go to all of our Bigfoot conferences and paranormal conferences and all these, different, all of these cons out there, that's what we experience when we go out, right? And there's how many of us that love to go to these campouts all over the country, and all these people, meet up and do these campouts around that campfire. It's the same thing. It's that fellowship that bonds you, where you're able to freely be exactly who you are and talk about your experiences and encounters, judgment free, where everybody just feels like family because you've bonded over something like that, It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's an amazing experience. So you've created your own internet camp out, Daniela.
I think that's what it is. I think
Yeah,
that's what it is. I'm
yeah.
thinking about moving on to Zoom next,
There
to
you
be able to
go.
fit more people on. But then it's a bit of a
Yeah.
trial and everything. It's
Mhm.
giving people enough time to talk, having the right amount of people, not to
Yeah.
be overloaded, because there's only so much time you
Mhm.
can spend, having a session, if you will.
Right.
So it's kind of work in progress, and like I say, it will evolve. There's lots of layers to it that can help people, and yeah, you'll have to come to the next one if you want to sit in
Sure.
the next one. Come and join us, and then you can
Absolutely.
see what it's all about. We had about 5 people in last night. One
Okay.
lady actually who contacted me a little bit too late when it was over. I put it on for 5 hours last night. It was kinda like an open door for 5 hours, but it's better to join early, because
Yeah.
if people get tired and go, and at some point
Mhm.
I'm probably gonna, like, crash out because it's like
Yeah,
2
right?
morning for me, I'm
People
like,
gotta sleep
you
at some point, right?
the thing about StreamYard is when someone joins, you have to bring them up onto the screen, don't you?
Yes,
Now,
yes.
I could go off and let people carry on, but if anyone joins later, they
Then they can't get
can't be
into the
brought.
actual stream, right.
Exactly. Whereas Zoom, I think you just appear. I don't think anybody brings you up.
When I
And
don't
you need
know.
to practice.
I think in your settings that it can be set that way. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Yes, some of us just go to bed. Yeah, I
Sure.
think I don't know, in my at the when I use Zoom in my job, we people come in and they're kind of in a waiting room kind of a situation, and we have to admit them into the stream. So, but you may be able to get around that with in settings possibly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll look into that. Um,
Matt knows everything about these technical things, so maybe reach out to him.
I will. I will. I just have to apologise to Jack. I think we just got to bed, Jack, last night because Jack was in the hub last night, and I was multitasking. I mean, people were getting on with the chat, which is great. I was doing a little few things, and then my internet did go out, and when it came back on, you'd all gone. So I did. I was there. I was there, if
Oh,
not
Jack.
totally there. I was there.
Yeah.
Um, Randy, sometimes feelings might get hurt. It can't be a feelings police, but the truth matters police. Yeah. I think you might be having a conversation in the chai about that. I'm not sure what else.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's about feelings as well, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking in two minds whether to bring this up tonight about something that happened last night.
Uh-huh.
Where sometimes you can be on the other side of this situation where, you know, we want people to come on and talk and not feel like they're being judged or picked on or laughed at
Mhm.
or made to feel anything. But last night, someone tried to do that to me, and I'm on the other side because I haven't had an encounter. And actually, this person hasn't had an encounter. But I was like gaslighted. They tried to gaslight me last night, and this is very subtle, and this is what
Really?
happens. Yeah. So basically, they'd sent me an image. Hey, I took this back in 2016, I think it was. And I'm not going to put the picture up because actually it's not about the picture. The
Right.
point I'm trying to make about this. So for that reason, but imagine a scene. Imagine a group of trees. There's some water. There's a little kind of island further back, and this guy's taken a zoomed in to this picture to
Mhm.
a tiny little place in this picture and found something that he thinks looks like a Bigfoot face under a log with things over his face. But the question was, what do you think? And if it was there, I walked past it and I didn't know it was there. That was the original kind of question
Mhm.
and the way he brought it to me. So when I
Mhm.
looked at it immediately, I hate pictures like this. I don't want to look at pictures like this. I've said it for a long time. I'm not interested in blob squatch or whatever
Mhm.
things that are
Right.
covered with things in front of them. They're not
Yes.
clear. There's no point. We don't need to do this anymore. Let's
Mhm.
move on. And I've always been like that. I've always been clear about that. But I replied, no, I don't see anything. And it was like, keep looking, you'll see it.
Yeah.
No, I don't see anything, I don't
Yeah.
see. I know these pictures. I don't want to keep looking at it. And the next response is like, oh no, trust me, it's there. You just can't see it. Okay, well, first you said if it was there, I walked right past it. But now you know it's there. Now you're telling me I've got to trust you.
Right.
This is
Right.
making me feel like he said, I've asked three different people and they can all see it. I don't care.
It
I
doesn't
don't care
matter.
if I can't see it. What do you want me to be part of this herd? I'm not
Right.
going to humour you. I'm not going to agree with you for the sake of doing it
Right.
because I'm not going to do that. And we kind
Mhm.
of left it at that. And I was a bit irritated because this is what happens to people. You are forced. You're not interested in my opinion. You're trying to force a narrative.
Mhm.
You're trying to force this onto people. You cannot prove to me whether that is a Sasquatch or not. End of the day,
Right.
fact. Yeah.
Mhm.
So stop doing that. Last night I get another thing. Hey, here's another photo. Like, have you not got it? I'm not interested. Yeah.
It's
And
like
and so I said, is this a joke? It was like 1:30 in the morning. Is this a joke? You know? Oh no, like there's two of them on this one.
oh
And
my
I looked
goodness.
at this picture and it was absolutely, I was just like, I'm not kind of interested. And what
Mhm.
annoyed me more is though that um you didn't just respect my opinion.
Right.
You then tried to make me feel like he'd said he'd spoke to 6 other channel owners who all saw something there. I said, don't try and make me feel outnumbered because I'm
And
not agreeing to your opinion. You cannot
right.
do this. Anybody's listening, don't do that to people. Don't
No.
push on something to
Mm-mm.
people that you can't prove. And that really, that I don't normally get fired up, but
I
it
mean,
really,
listen,
you know.
there's people that will send me photos and they'll be like, what do you, look at these photos. Oh, look at this one. Look at this one. Look at And I tell them straight up, if I don't see anything and it's just this like it's blurry, and I just tell them, I'm sorry, but I don't see anything. It's just to me it's blurry, and my apologies, but I'm not seeing anything in these. There's been other people that have sent me things that were not blurry and I was able to see them, and I was like, okay, I can identify, or not identify, but I mean I can see why they would think this or that, or why or how they got to their conclusion. And I can see why, but don't send me blurry photos because I'll tell you, I'm sorry. All I see is it's blurry. That's all I see. I can't, I'm not going to make up a narrative just to make someone happy or make someone comfortable. That's for darn sure.
But the
I'm
yeah,
not,
yeah. But the other side to this is like, so what? I'm not being
yeah,
rude, but so what if something was there in 2016 and you didn't even know it was there? So what
right.
are we, what's up? Like, I don't know why we need
Yeah,
to look at these pictures. What,
right.
so what? I mean, I just
Yeah.
don't know. Sorry, it frustrates me. Like,
I, I
I,
mean, I'll tell you what happened to me. Somebody that I know, um, posted a photo of a print on Facebook and claimed that it was a specific animal. And I looked at this photo and I was like, don't think, I don't think I think this is a misidentification. So I sent it to a couple of people that I know that are expert trackers. And I'm like, hey, I think this is a misidentification. I did not say where I got the photo. I didn't like out anybody because I'm not like that either. And I'm like, can you just take a look at this? Because I'm thinking this is a misidentification. And the two people that I sent it to were like, yeah, that's a big misidentification. That's definitely not what they think it is, right? These whoever said whoever wherever you got it, that's not what it is. So then I said, you know what? Then okay, fine. You know what? I'm going to have a show on tracking. So like I'm like when I'm seeing these little things like this in the community or on Facebook, I'm trying to come up with shows where I can kind of be like, "Hey guys, let's talk about tracks. Let's talk about prints. Let's talk about, the reality that most times things are a misidentification." And I felt it was super important to just kind of like let people have a place to go and check out what tracking is about and
mhm,
how to figure out what kind of animal or not animal print that you have or you've come across.
yeah.
So it's like I'm trying with my show to do that, to kind of like
The-
solve some of these kind of issues that we're having here and there in the
yeah.
community.
Definitely. It's like, but I mean, I'm feeling now like I need to like kind of draw a few lines,
You do though
or make them a
sometimes.
bit clearer that,
Mhm.
I want to move forward with this subject. I know physically I can't do that, but I'm willing
Mhm.
to support people who are and
Right.
follow what they're doing. I want to do that. I don't want to look
100%.
at I don't look at blurry
Yes.
pictures anymore. I mean, I say this often, I mean, I love taking pictures of birds and I've been in bird
Mhm.
groups where you share your pictures. And if I was to send a picture with a bunch of trees and you can just see possibly the back of the tail of a bird, they
Then
kick me out the group. Go, why are you posting this? Where are our standards?
right.
You can just see the tip of the beak there if you look.
Yeah.
Then get a magnifying glass out. No,
Yeah.
we have to have the same standards with a lot of
Mhm.
things,
Mhm.
and it can't be these little blurry, pixelated pictures of
Mhm. Yeah. I mean,
pareidolia,
I
you know.
definitely believe that there are researchers out there who are trying to really move that needle forward, right? Trying to make, excuse me, other discoveries and other areas of, because I feel like, of course, this is only my opinion. I feel like the existence of these beings are not no longer in question. From my perspective, the next step, once you figure out that there's a species that is out there, right? And you believe it's there and it's a living creature or a living being, the next step is to try to learn as much as you can about them. And I feel like, like Shane and Randy, I mean, Randy Harrington, Shane Carpenter, those guys are doing that. They're bringing it to the next level where they're trying to have, and interactions with them.
Mhm.
And the only way we're going to do that is by building trust with them. That's anybody, right? Like if you don't have
That's true.
trust with someone, you're not going to be able to get close to them. And I feel like those guys are actually taking it to that next level for us, for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Hands
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at with this.
Mhm.
We need people to go out and these guys have got equipment and they are doing something,
Yeah.
and that's a lot different to a lot who just sat at home or telling people what to do, or trying to push a narrative that
Yeah.
no one should be pushing any narratives about this creature. That's the other thing, is like we've got a completely distorted view of what this thing is just
Mhm.
based on people's perception of it. And
True.
we've created this persona around this creature. We
Mhm.
don't know we don't know if any of it's true. I
Nope.
mean, really, when you strip it all back, they've got big feet,
That's it.
you know?
That's
They
it.
go to the toilet, possibly, there's just not a lot. So,
No.
um, we really need to, like, says in me sat at home in England, but, this is what I will support people who are really trying to do something
Right.
100%, but I'm not gonna support people who are, and I don't mean it in any disrespect, but I don't wanna waste time. All of us have spent a lot of time in this subject and
Right.
looked at some proper rubbish that is out
Mhm.
there, for want of a better word, that's just wasting time. There's no filter, there's no regulation, there's no nothing here. It's literally like a wide open field,
Mhm.
and, we need really something that's, a beacon that's a bit higher, that's shining, that's showing good light on
Right.
things, that will draw people who really just want truth, as much as we
Mhm.
can. So, what you doing, Randy's,
Yeah, I was just gonna say good
thinking
luck,
Thursday.
Randy.
Yeah, heading to the
Sending
400.
prayers for you.
Let us know what's going on, if there's anything
Yeah, for
going
sure.
on.
Keep us
Um,
in the loop.
exactly, yeah. But
Be
just to
safe
end
out there, Randy.
just to end that little situation from last night, it's like, it's a two-way street. I'm there for people who've had encounters, and there was no way I would, um, put any pressure on people or force them or make them think whatever. But, I felt it on the other side. I felt that from someone who hasn't even seen a Sasquatch, trying to
Right,
convince me that
right.
I can't see it, and
Mhm.
making me feel like something wrong with me.
Right, right. Like,
Yeah.
you're the issue because
I'm
you
the
didn't see it.
problem. 6
Right.
people can see it, I can't. I don't have
Uh,
bush lenses in my glasses. Sorry, I can't, you know,
yeah.
but yeah, it's just one of them. Please don't ever send me pictures. I had to end it in a not in a maybe a fun way, I don't know, but this is just my humor. This is how I kind of deal with things. This was the last image that he sent, and I will put this up, and it's totally pixelated. This is a shot off his phone, off his screen, and I ended it with
Yeah.
saying, "Yeah, I can see cat squash." You know, nothing. There's nothing up there but a little black cat, if that is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, People see whatever they want to see, and it's just pointless trying to
Mhm.
um, work these images out, especially when something's so far away and there's no context
Right.
to your story.
Right.
As this guy said to me, "Don't need context; it's there in the picture." You
Mhm.
didn't know it was there. You didn't smell anything. You didn't hear anything. You have to back up. You have to back up something you're going to present.
Yeah.
And, that's my that's where I
Yeah.
draw my line.
Yeah.
Please, everybody know I'm not normally mean to people, and that wasn't me being mean. That's just like, I felt he insulted me and my opinion,
Mhm.
and, don't ever try to gaslight people and make them feel like you're you're
Right.
doing something wrong. It works both ways. There you
It's
go.
for me, it's okay to if you don't see it, you don't see it. There's nothing wrong with saying that. It's like just because someone thinks or feels or believes that they see something in their photo, it doesn't mean that everyone's going to see that because I mean, even with like EVPs and things like that, right? Sometimes people will be like, "Oh, it said this or it said that. Oh, they said this, that ghost just said that." I'm like, "Really?
Didn't
I
hear
that's not
that.
what I heard." Sometimes I hear I'm like, "Wait, I thought it said this, but you're thinking it's saying that." Like, when there when if it isn't clear as day like you said, without all the other stuff, without being pixelated, without all the other
There's too
it's
much. Yeah.
it's always going to be questionable. I can't even
It's a
talk today.
it's a hard one, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But, yeah.
It's right. It makes all the water murks up the water. I don't know what the term is,
Does,
but um,
it does.
even though it's hard to know what's clear, but I mean, I know what's
Mhm.
clear. It's like we know very little. Why don't we just build up from that and do it that way? I don't
Yeah,
know. It's hard, isn't it, to
it is. I
collect
mean,
data and
I mean, there have been photos that I have seen and that people have shared with me
mm,
privately that I can tell you they weren't blob squatches and they weren't blurry. They're out there. Those photos exist. There are photos that are not blurry. There are there are clear photos out there, guys. I'm just going to tell you that, but they're not my photos to share and they're not my photos to describe or talk about, but I will say they do exist. But there's that whole other side of the coin where people are literally terrified to share those photos because then once you do share those photos, all of a sudden then you're labeled a hoaxer. So
mm,
there is that whole other kind of side of the coin too. So it's kind of, so there's a lot of people, credible people that I have, met through my show who have these things that they're terrified to show. They're terrified to actually they're like, "Oh, but nobody's going to believe it. Nobody's going to even." So,
it's
it's
hard.
one of those things,
Yeah.
and it's
Um,
everybody's own personal kind of decision.
and
But thank
also, we're just here on YouTube. There's a
yeah,
whole big Bigfoot world out there, and loads of people who aren't even
right.
on YouTube,
Yep.
who have got stuff they wouldn't even think to share on YouTube.
Right.
This isn't the be
Mhm.
all and end all of Bigfoot. What we
Right.
see, what we know, is not
Right.
just here. But although a lot of people tend to rely on this kind of place for all
Mhm.
that, and actually, no, there's like
Mhm.
probably so much more going on we just don't know about. And people do
Probably.
want to
I
share
stay
because
out of it though.
yeah, I mean, they look at what happened, people literally will rip something apart,
Mhm.
whether it's something real or not, because it's just so hard to prove whether maybe something was in his picture. It's not the point. You can't
Right.
force people to believe something, even
That's right.
even I know he didn't even know it was there.
Mhm.
What are you doing? Don't you realize how deluded that sounds?
Yeah. I mean, I guarantee you I could probably go back to a bunch of pictures of mine from, 10 years ago and probably if I look hard enough, I guarantee you I'll find a blob squatch in there someplace.
I could see several in his picture, several
Yeah.
things, but I can also see the sticks that make up the framework that
Mhm.
creates the face that you
Mhm.
think you're looking at. But if you really don't look through the gaps, look at what's creating
Yeah.
that brow or that cheekbone, and you'll
Mhm.
find it's a stick a lot of the times, and
Yep.
you can follow it, but you don't people are not looking for that, they're looking for the face, and
Yeah.
you get a pair of eyes or 2 black holes,
Mhm.
here we go, it's hidden, but the eyes are there. You can't prove any of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just fact. It is
Yeah.
fact. Let's stop messing around. You know,
I know,
it's
right?
frustrating. It's frustrating. I was showing these before because I like to do this just for a little bit laugh, but like I've pareidolia pictures that I don't share. I would love to. Sort of thing. This is the sort of thing that I find, but I'm not going to tell anyone there is a bear up there.
Oh, those
But,
are fabulous.
but I see that, and I love
That
looking at, I do. I'm a
that's
bit of a cloud watcher,
that's
and
awesome.
the field at the back of my house always has great clouds on it. So,
Oh my
yeah.
God,
But like
that's
I
so
say,
funny.
I'm not gonna force them pictures on anyone. Um, but yeah, I do just want to move on. I want to
Yeah, we
this to
need
be a
to.
positive subject where people want to get
Yeah.
involved and share their encounters and
Mhm.
just come up with good ideas and new ideas, because what we're doing
Yes.
at the moment seems to be,
Yes.
not for everyone. I know, Randy, Shane, you're doing stuff, you are doing stuff, but we need more thought put into this, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's a fun thing as well. You can take this thing too seriously. I know for people who've had trauma and stuff, that of course it is serious, but on the research side, this is a really, hard thing to get to, this creature.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
there's a limit to what people can do,
Mhm.
literally. Shame,
Yeah.
but like I said, there's many layers to this subject.
Yeah, there are. There's a lot of layers, a lot of levels, a lot of, a lot. I think that a lot of people just they're still looking for the box to put it into. And I really believe that. I think that a lot of people are just they have in their mind that there's only their box that this being is going to fit into. Some people's boxes don't look like the other people's boxes, right? I mean, it's just simple as that, and I've talked on my show a lot about following data, and it's super important to follow data, but I follow my own data when I've had certain experiences that weren't, that were a little more on the paranormal side. That's my data. That's what I follow, and I go, that's the direction that I sometimes go in, because that's what I've experienced. You know what I mean? That's what I've
Mhm.
experienced. But I mean, like, listen, every single time I go out, it doesn't mean I'm having an experience. I mean, I went this weekend, I went hiking this weekend, and I may or may not have had a spill that someone caught possibly on film. That was probably, I hope, doesn't show up on YouTube anywhere, but I'll bet it's funny as heck. Um, but it was just a beautiful day, and it was an amazing hike, and it was just, we got out. Matt and I went out with Connor and Stacy Brown, and just did an amazing hike at Torreya State Park, and it was amazing. It was just great to get, we didn't have anything happen. There was nothing that happened, not a doggone thing, but it was like friends getting out in the woods, and it felt so good to just get out and be out there with friends.
That's what it's about, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
you can't set a date with Bigfoot. You
that's
can't
right.
set a meeting point.
100.
You need to just
Yeah,
make them out. Go out, enjoy yourself. Because
exactly.
all those hikers and hunters are just getting on with the day when they have these encounters. They're not sat
Hmm.
there trying to find Bigfoot. So, there's a lot in that, isn't there? Just, I
Yeah.
guess they're curious, and that might attract them to you when you're
Yeah,
just
I think
having your own.
curiosity is a big thing for them. I think that's how somehow they, end up getting caught on film or leave a print or those kind of things. I think they are. I think they're very, very curious. I think especially the younger ones are curious. I think the grown adults are like, yeah, seen it, been there, done that. They're just humans and they don't know what they're doing and they're stupid. So I don't care about them. I got business to get to over here. I got to feed y'all. And the kids are all like, look at those people over there. Like, I think the young ones are very curious about
Mm.
us.
And also, I wonder if there's like a generational shift of how
Yeah.
they react with people. Like maybe, long time ago, where it wasn't getting encroached on, some of the land, they never had to deal with people, or then
Mhm.
suddenly, I mean, I don't know how it goes. I'm just making this up as
Right.
I go along, yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't know.
Yeah.
But and then you warn to stay away from people, or maybe the newer
Mhm.
generation are more relaxed around people because they're coming around people a bit more, and then the younger ones are more
Yeah.
relaxed and maybe a bit more fallible, maybe a little bit not as on guard as maybe they were a bit ago,
Mhm.
and maybe I wonder
Yeah.
if there is a change in the generation of the Sasquatch and how they're acting, and maybe that's why we're seeing more of them. I don't know.
It's very possible. Very, very possible. Very possible. I mean, Shane and Randy, they talk about that that in their research that they were having a lot of, and finding a lot of evidence on, from the juveniles. And so it's kind of like, again, there's that whole, they're getting closer and closer. They're building these relationships with the younger generation of the clan that's there in the 400 that they've been researching for so many years. So it's kind of, I think you're right. It is like that generational thing that hopefully someday people like Shane and Randy have cultivated over time, that trust, just continuing to do so. And then eventually there will be, I'm hoping, contact,
Yeah,
right? Contact.
yeah. I mean, that's has to be
Yeah.
it, doesn't it? Something,
Yeah.
um, or some good footage, so doing something in motion, you know, hunting.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know. It could be, but yeah, it's just all situational, isn't it? And
Yeah.
who knows? But they've got to be there, and that's the thing, and that's the impressive thing, is that they're putting the time in and dedicating time that they're not going to get
Yeah.
back.
Right.
Spending with friends or family, or doing
Yeah.
that stuff. This is like, a lot of dedication. So
Yeah. It
uh,
is. It
that's why
is.
I want to support them any way I can, in what they're doing, just so I can get some snippets of information and, exclusives on stuff. No, it's not about that, but because they're doing something, and that's what I want to know. Anybody who's doing stuff,
Mhm.
let me know. Let me
Yeah.
see what you are doing. Get in touch with me. Uh,
Absolutely. I mean,
hey,
there's a lot of researchers out
how you
there
doing,
that,
Lee?
"Hey, Lee."
Long time no see, Lee. Are you doing all right? Sorry, I interrupted you then.
Oh, no, no, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of researchers out there. I know that there are a lot of researchers out there that definitely wish that they had a a prime spot like Randy and Shane. Randy and Shane, what they have in the 400 is very special, and not a lot of people can actually say that they have that kind of a environment in where they can continue to research in certain, in the way that they're, moving their needle forward, in my opinion. But, there's a lot of researchers out there too who, can't afford a lot of equipment, even if they have if they have a prime property or a prime spot, sometimes they don't have the resources. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. But I still think that the wood knocking and the howls, I think that we still don't know. We still don't know. You don't, even if you hear a howl, like audio is important, but it's not important because even if you hear audio, you still didn't see what made that noise. You have
Exactly.
no idea that it was you. We don't know 100% that that's an actual Sasquatch, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But yet then there's a lot of audio that's out there that you're like, "Holy cow,
It's
that's
questionable.
interesting."
Yeah. It's
It's
questionable.
interesting, but not sure.
Mm.
I
It's
mean,
hard, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to discern, right, from all these different things. That's why to me, because I've had my own encounters, so it's kind of like I've seen them, so I don't feel like anybody needs to prove they exist
Mhm.
to me. I'm looking and for researchers who are trying to get a deeper understanding, like
Mhm.
Randy and Shane are. Like that's I mean, I'm not saying I don't support other researchers. I'm just saying I feel like we need to, support, really support. teams that are taking it to that next level
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
more than
This is
just
the
the
thing, is not
Mhm.
wanting to upset anyone, and it's not
Right.
about that. I mean, people can do whatever they want, you know? It's a personal choice to want
Mhm.
something different,
Mhm.
and, there's only so much some people can do. They only
Yeah.
have a little bit of time, they only have a little bit of equipment. There's only so many levels people want to go to.
Yep.
People just wanna maybe find a track and they'd be happy with that, or some people are doing it. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with what anybody's doing. This is all your own journey. There's, like I say, there's no handbook, there's no regulation, there's no rules. It's
Exactly.
a bit wild out there. You know, people can do whatever
The
you want.
Wild West, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
But so, you know, I just want to. I spent enough time looking at all, you know, these pictures, and it doesn't
Right.
prove anything more. You know, I don't know how many times I need to say it without sounding like, you know, like a Debbie Downer. But
Right.
like, come on, let's. Do we not all want to move forward with this? Do we not want to? You know, it's great
Mhm.
what people are doing. Do whatever you want to do. That's absolutely fine. But for
Right.
me, I want to move forward with this, and it's really
Mhm.
hard to keep going back over stuff
Right.
that's already been said
Mhm.
and done. And this is, you know, for everybody, I guess people must get bored of the same old Sasquatch chat because
Mhm.
it is, you know, so having a new goal, a new, you know, like place to go, you really need to start using your brain a bit and thinking outside the box. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard, isn't it? It's difficult. Everybody kind of wants an answer, but like where,
Mhm.
how, who
None of us
knows?
have
So
that.
let's try something different for a change.
But I mean, we don't have any answers in all of these other arenas, right? We don't have answers about Dogman. We don't have answers about aliens or UFOs or ultra terrestrials or orbs or portals. We don't have exact answers on any of these things. Ghosts. I mean, we spirits. What we don't have answers to any of them.
No.
We don't. We
Mm.
just don't. It's just
Yeah.
it's all paranormal. It's all stuff that's outside of the norm. It's so some people may have more of an open mind than others in order to research or check into or look into some of these other mediums, these other subject matters. But sometimes and usually what kind of motivates them to kind of go in those other areas are their own experiences. If you've experienced an orb and you're kind of like, whoa, what was that? That was crazy. You're going to go down that rabbit hole because you're going to go and check it out. Same
Mhm.
thing with, a UFO. I mean, if you've seen a UFO and you're like, wow, I don't know what that was. And you're online and you're like, wow, did anybody else see anything in my area last night? Like you're going to go searching for it. But I just feel like we all just need to have an open mind
Mm.
and stop stressing everybody out with making everybody feel like they have to think exactly like you do, you know?
Mhm. Definitely, definitely. Brown dwarf, like Woo's been about for as long as like I've been about. I don't know if that's moving forward. I mean, people are, you know, there's two paths, isn't there? People take,
Yeah.
or something like entwining them together. But um, I think in terms of evidence, that's what I want is to actually see. Yeah, I'm asking a biggie. I'm asking for a lot. I know it,
Yeah.
but that's, you know, why not? There's just point
Yes.
in not saying that. But
Lee makes a really good point. I mean, most of the evidence we have it's all anecdotal evidence, right? It's all people's encounter stories. That's
mm,
literally it. That is the most evidence we have in the subject so far.
yeah,
That's where the biggest amount of evidence is anecdotal
mm,
evidence. And that
I don't-
goes for any subject matter, whether that's spiritual, ghosts, UFOs, Sasquatch, Dogman. I mean, Matt and I were just talking the other day about was a long trip to where we had to go this weekend. So it was kind of like we were talking about Dogman in particular, and we were talking about how there's a lot of that anecdotal evidence out there about Dogman, but I honestly haven't seen any tracks that I was ever impressed with. I've
Mm.
never really seen like anyone say, "Oh, I have hair." I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's out there and I just don't know about it, or
That's the
maybe I
thing, isn't
haven't
it?
been
Yeah.
shared with, someone maybe people haven't shared it with me, or I haven't found it yet. I don't know, but it's the
Yeah, there's
same
no
kind of
library,
thing.
is there? There's no
No,
library, there's no nothing, no
nope.
no reference books, and that's the issue. Um,
Yeah.
someone was on the other week, and they were talking about something they'd heard, and they were telling me about something about a werewolf, and they'd heard this noise, and they played it to someone, and they said, "Yeah, that's a werewolf." It's like,
Mhm.
who recorded the first werewolf
Right.
sound and saw it coming from a werewolf? It's
Yeah.
just is how easy it is for
Yeah.
us to categorize stuff, put a label on
Right.
something when we absolutely have no idea. Like the rake, who knows? Who knows what a rake is? Like, I'm sorry, but
No.
there's these descriptive terms that don't really.
Yeah.
Are people seeing the same thing, calling it something else? Who
Mhm.
knows? Because we don't know what's what. You're going to see something. You can only tell me what you think it is, but
Yep.
actually, is it that?
Yeah.
It's just terms we use. They
Yeah.
maybe don't mean a thing, you know.
Exactly. We have
So
no idea. We don't know. Nobody
it's
knows.
literally like swimming in mud, you know, crawling through mud.
Yeah.
Um, what's Randy saying? There is scientific proof that a high enough note vibration creates light. So if a note is hit by a Bigfoot in that spectrum, that creates an orb. Hmm? Could be. Could
Okay.
be. I didn't know it could create light, a vibration, but I guess it can move stuff, can't it? It can move stuff vibration. So um it's impossible, Radar, to completely open your mind unless you had an experience. And that is true as well. Like we think we're open-minded, and then sometimes I catch myself and I go, why am I saying that? Because I'm human, we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all biased.
Mhm.
Whether we think we all judge, whether we
Right.
think we don't or not. Unfortunately, we all have elements of it. I catch
Mhm.
myself anytime being wrong. Can't believe I just admitted that. Sometimes I've been wrong. That I've thought, oh yeah, why did
So
I
have
do that or say
I.
that? Why didn't I listen a bit more? Why did I think I didn't need to listen to that anymore? So,
Mhm.
you know, it's
Yeah.
hard to be open-minded completely.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we still have to have it's great to be open-minded, but we still have to have that healthy dose of skepticism too, so that we're not
yeah,
like, we everybody should have a little of that. I mean, if you don't have a little of that, I mean, there needs to be some checks and balances within yourself, at least where you're kind of like, well, wait a minute. I'm not sure if I believe in that or not. Let me look into that. I'll look into that. You know what I mean? You can't really just take everybody at face value 100%. You just can't,
no, you can't.
but it's all about just trying to keep the open mind is the first part of that, though. A lot of people I think are so skeptical that they just don't even want to even consider anything except what they have in their blinders. They're just not even going to deviate from that at all. And I think that is also unhealthy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it is, isn't it? It's like we're all learning
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
life, aren't we? How
Mhm.
to
Yep.
be, and it just comes with experience as
Yeah.
that goes along, and you can't tell people. It's one of those things you can tell people, until you believe in the face what's going to happen, because you know the outcome when you've been in that situation, but nobody will listen to you. They have to do their own. You have to do your own kind of journey,
Yeah.
um, but it is really about that. I'm just going to put a link in the chat. People, please go and check out the Nonnaboss. The link is there. It's in the description as well.
Thank you.
Go and check out some of our interviews and show some support.
Thank
So who have you
you.
got on next? When are your shows and who have you got on next?
Yeah, well, right now I've got coming up this week. I'm going to be having Outcast Paranormal on with Barry Webster from Res Squatching.
Mm-hmm.
They just did a documentary with Res Squatching, and it's pretty amazing. And so I'm it's called Sitanga, Bigfoot Spirit and Faith. It's really amazing. It's on Paraflix. Right now, Paraflix is a new streaming platform. It's all like paranormal type things, cryptid type stuff, and this is on there. It's like $3.99 a month. You can, go check it out. It's really interesting type content. So I will be talking with RPG tomorrow night and Barry Webster. RPG's from Outcast Paranormal. He's also been on Finding Bigfoot. He's been on Bigfoot Expedition Bigfoot, and he's been around. And so that's what's going on tomorrow night. So my shows are every Tuesday night at 8:00, and then every other Monday night. Currently, I'm doing a show with one of my friends, Amber from Amber's Para World, on Monday nights at 8:00. We're doing a show called Divine Conversations and Connections, where we kind of have like spiritual, interview some spiritual people talking about spirituality and meditation and those kinds of things. And then the other Mondays, Matt and I do a show together called Dive into the Depths, where we just have fun. We just have fun. We just kind of talk about some articles and just have some fun banter back and forth, and it's a blast. I love to do that show with them. It's so much fun. So
yeah, it sounds good. I guess the easiest thing to do is go over and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you'll get notified when all these shows are on, so you don't have to remember what nights they're on. You'll get that notification.
And then I am going to be doing, Daniela, if I could just mention one more thing, I am going to be starting to put some exclusive content onto Rumble. So I do have a Rumble account. So if anybody wants to go over there and check it out, it's the Nonnaboss. It's just the Nonnaboss on Rumble, because I am going to start putting some exclusive content over there.
Okay, cool. If you could send me that link, I'll put it in the description as well. Okay. And people can check that out as well. Anyone got any questions before we go? I've got Randy's got a few been commenting tonight. Nonnaboss, do you believe there will be evidence short of a physical body that will survive science?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that, because everyone's perception of what proof and evidence is different. I could say, show me a video, Randy, of Shane sitting right next to a Sasquatch having a conversation. Maybe that's my standard, but maybe someone else's, I want to see what their heart looks like, and I want to see what their bone structure is, and I want to see all of these other things. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Short of a body. I mean, actually, for me, it is seeing them in moving, in motion, and doing something so wild that we really had, and difficult to debunk. But yeah, you're right. He used to say there hasn't been. I mean, there's probably been lots, hasn't there? Like I say, we only know what we know. Who knows what else is out there that we don't know?
Right.
And we've probably covered lots of ground that's already been covered and done, and maybe results have come from some of the stuff people are trying, but it's just been done in a different way. Where people haven't been talking about what they're doing, they're just going and doing it, and possibly dedicating lots of time and years to one area, like Shane and Randy do. I mean, it sounds like a good thing to do if you know something is there, or it makes sense, but it's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of time.
It is.
A lot of things in the world are brought to us because of people's dedication and time. And you know,
Mhm.
this is really gonna be, you know, all of us have kind of been on this journey, haven't we? I
Yeah.
love true crime because there's an end.
Me too.
There's an end to it though. There's a they find them, there's a I love the
Yeah.
process, blah, 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 and then you get a result in the end, and it's done now. Let's move
Mhm.
to the next mystery or the whatever.
Yeah.
This one goes on and on and on, like, you know, a bit
Yeah.
like Oak Island, where
Yes.
we're never gonna get the
No,
answer, are we?
it's
We're gonna keep
true.
digging and digging, but it's just not, you know.
It's not that big of an island, my goodness gracious,
I
how come they
know.
can't get to it, right?
I know, it's gotta be now, like, deeper than it is wide because they've been digging so much, you know, it's just
You're
gonna be one
right.
huge hollow, eventually, but
Yeah.
look, guys, we've come to the end of the hour.
Yeah.
It's been a great show. Thanks for coming on. It's been fun
Of
talking to you,
course,
but we'll
thank
have
you
to
for
do it
having
again.
me.
You're very
Yeah,
welcome.
anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime. Yeah.
We will do that. Guys, thanks for being here tonight. Everybody in the chat, all the
Thanks,
moderators that have
everybody.
been doing a good job. I know all you guys are good anyway, very respectful crowd,
Yeah.
community, and I really appreciate you all being here.
Mhm.
Guys, help out the channel, hit that thumbs up or thumbs down. I
Yes.
mean, either one works for me.
Leave a
Uh,
comment.
Leave a comment. Definitely let us know what you think of the show. That really does help
Mhm.
out the channel.
Yeah, it
If you
does.
do that, I would really appreciate that. And head on over to the
Yeah.
Nonnaboss's channel. The link is in the description, and show
Mhm.
some support and love over
Thank
there because
you.
we're all doing the same thing. We all want to.
Mhm.
I need to have a drink. Sorry, hang on. Oh. We're all trying to do the same thing. And you know,
Yeah.
we're better brainstorming together
I'm
than.
close to 500. I'm close.
Oh,
So
excellent. Let's see.
close.
Where are you at?
Like 483.
Oh,
I'm
let's see.
getting I'm get I'm almost
Can
to
we
500.
change this? Can we get the Nonnaboss 484?
Oh,
So
okay.
16
I need
um
16.
subscribers. Can we
Yeah.
do it, guys? Please.
Can we? Can we do
Um
it?
go and show us some support. In fact, we won't go until it's got to 500. You know, I don't know how I mean, I might hang, yeah. I mean, we've
We
got
could
another
be
lot.
here a while, so
Can we,
don't.
can we, guys, can we do this in the next couple of minutes? Can we just 16 of us go over there and just subscribe? Because I don't think we can stay here all night, can we? We'll
No,
have to go at
can't.
some point.
Yep.
I'm going to trust you all to go and do that,
That's
and
right. We are. Thank you
just get it to
guys.
500. And you guys are the
Mm,
best. All right,
yeah.
guys, I will see you in the week. And until the next time,
Yeah.
everybody take care.
Good
Be kind to one
night.
another. And I'll see you all soon. Good night, everyone.